See if you can move that.
Welcome, race fans, to Pitside Live, here live at Adams County Speedway, and also welcome to the YouTubers on our KCSI channel on YouTube, tuning into us, watching us live on our podcast as well. Sorry to the Hawkeye fans. Great win, 24-14 over Utah State. We watched the game, cut the Kurt Farron show a little bit short, the post-game show a little bit short, so we can come on to you live from Pitside Live as we're starting an hour early this week. This is our finale, folks. This is our tradition. The tradition race. We're starting an hour early this week. Make sure you get all that on your schedule as you're getting ready to think about coming to the races, because we are starting a little early tonight. So, but what a great year we had, folks. But we are back live with you one final time this year, and thanks for joining us all year long. Kicked off the season with the Hawkeye win. That's a good deal as well. All of our sports are going now as our racing season is winding down. But I tell you what, folks, guys, what a great season we had. We're going to do a little recap on that and talk about tonight's tradition race, what we got going on. We got a couple memorial races going on we'd like to talk about as well. We got a lot of great sponsors that's joined us for putting this race on as our 25th annual. So we're looking forward to that. And hey, one more time, boys.
It went really fast, didn't it? I mean, it's crazy how it's already September 2nd, so this is the earliest I think we've been done in a while. We've done the tradition, I think, at the end of September, towards the end of September, about every single year for the past 7-8 years at least, and it'll be nice to get done a little early. I know I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to go to different races around the area too, at different racetracks. Cole and I are going to Kansas Speedway next week. That'll be a fun time. And I know he's chomping at the bit to get down there, but it's going to be a fun night here tonight. The main thing I'm grateful for is I think this is the first time in God knows how long where we've had the tradition and we haven't had to worry about weather.
No threat of rain. Threat of rain.
It seems like every single year when that was my phone, by the way.
Oh, I was going to say, I was trying to figure out what that
was. It seems like every single year for the last, I don't know how many years, there has been a threat of rain every single year on this weekend. And it's kind of nice to not have that. And it's going to be a little bit different tonight for the Trish, because I think the last few years it's been pretty cold and it's been wet. Tonight it's hot and dry. So feel free to come out to the racetrack for one last time here this year. 3-day weekend. Most nobody's working on Monday. So feel free to stay late after the races too. Have some beers. Make sure you talk to some drivers, and we're going to end the year off right here. And we got two memorial races tonight. One of my family members, Ross Griffith, for the stock cars, and then Jeremy Ribby for the hobby stocks. So it'll be two memorial races tonight. We'll mention some of those sponsors after a bit here, some of the families that are supporting those races. But we're looking for a nice car count tonight, and hopefully drivers will show up for some money. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's a little warm out here, but it's better than rain. I think I still have my Hey Dudes that I wore down here 2 years ago when we had the party out here and it started raining. There's still dirt in them from that race. They're now my what I mow the yard
everyday
in.
shoes.
But no, I'm excited for this, and I'll be honest, I was the first one to be skeptical on the date, but I think there's going to be a good turnout. I think there's going to be a lot of hobby stocks here. Obviously, hobby stocks don't run the Prelude up at Boone, and I've heard some big hitters in the stock cars from down near us that are going to be coming here. So I think you should see some great racing tonight. And I know of a couple modified guys that are making their way over, and I'm sure the Sport Mods are going to have a good turnout as well. And it'll be interesting to see if Austin Paul comes down and does double duty. I would assume he probably will.
Some of the purse counts I can think of off the top of my head right now. We got $2,000 to win for our modifieds. We got $2,500 to win for our stock cars. We've got $1,512 to win for our hobby stocks. We've got $1,200 to win for our B mods, and then we've got $500 to win for our compacts. $500 to win for a compact race is a chunk of change. Back in the day when compacts first started, you could buy one for that much money. Yeah. So that'll be a good race. It's gonna be good racing all night long. You're gonna have all kinds of new faces down here battling against our local guys to see who's the best down here, and we're gonna end the year off right. But like I said on the flyer on Facebook, there's gonna be over $34,000 given out tonight in one night. I mean, that's a pretty darn good purse, and the tradition, it's grown every year, and we're gonna hopefully keep it that way. And next year, again, the format next year, we are probably I would say not 100%, but it's close to it. It's going to be a 2-day show again with a practice and those mechanics and powder puff races again. So we just couldn't do that this year because of our scheduling, and we had all sorts of schedule conflicts with weddings going on and other races going on, and then
that were scheduled that got changed on us all this week.
Yes,
yeah,
so
that's
it's
another story. So
yeah, it's just all kinds of different stuff that goes into this. And
this is the only night that worked out for us. So.
I talked about it last week, and the people that do support us know, but the people that say negative stuff on social media, those are the ones that really don't understand what it takes to do a show like this. And it takes a lot of people, it takes a lot of sponsors, and it takes a lot of work. So we thank each and everybody that's supporting this race tonight, all the sponsors that put up money for the drivers. And then if you're going to show up and watch, we thank you for spending your time with us this weekend. And it'll be a last hurrah for this season, but we're going to be back next year and do it all over again. So.
The way I look at it, I was a part of the inception of this race, the tradition, and it was all about getting money to the classes that support us the best here, which at that time was the stock cars and the hobby stocks. So I think we have a great purse out there, a lot of good money to run and to win for. If you want to come down, and I always said, you're coming to compete against our locals to see what you can do for some good cash. So it pays really well throughout the entire field. Great money to start. So
should have been what, 1999? I think was the first year I think of it.
Was,
so because that was 25 years ago.
So the very first one got rained out. So that was the funny part of it. So
I wonder if I was here.
So.
I was born that year. I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Probably not.
I don't know. My parents were pretty big race fans. They might have drugged me down here.
The very first year we had a schedule that rained out that year. That's the
okay, so I wasn't here.
So yeah, it was kind of funny. So we always talk about that, and I guess that was a jinxing part of it. And yeah, we've changed dates quite often. Tiny Lund got mixed around with us and got switched around, and then other races got switched around. So we'd like to get back to a good date and keep to that, and back to, like you said, Evan, back to a 2-day show. So anyway, I know there's a lot of cars that pre-registered. Very good. I was very happy with the count we got. because it's always amazing how many do show up that don't pre-register. So we don't ever get too hyped up about pre-registration because it's amazing how a lot of guys don't worry about it.
We always say it's about like 2/3 usually pre-register, and then a third doesn't. So
so we got a great car count here,
and hopefully that's the same tonight, because if that happens, we're definitely going to have over 100 cars. So.
Oh yeah, easily we'll have over 100. So those pits are going to be full, folks. So and it should be a great field of cars. I think we're going to have some B features, especially in the hobby stocks. So look forward to that, and maybe some other classes like maybe the B mods and hopefully the modified. We'll see what happens, but hopefully we have some B features, have a car count. But I think we'll have a full field and pretty much every
I'll tell
class.
you what, though. I know it's $2,500 to win stock cars, but I am looking forward to this hobby stock race tonight because it is going to be wild.
I think I told you a while back, in the future, if we could ever figure out a way, if the hobby stocks keep racing like
doing
this,
what they're doing,
if we could pay them $2,500 as well, could you imagine the hobby stock field that would show up? It would be, I don't know, just something about these hobbies these last couple of years. I mean, it's just three-wide racing all the time. I mean, there was so much action, I can't even remember exactly when it was, but I think the beginning of the year there was a three-wide finish for the lead and or for the win.
We've had a Cole Trickle incident. We've had guys spinning out on the last lap. There was there was 3 weeks in a row that we had a last lap pass.
Yeah. So and I think a lot of that has to do with just the level of the hobby stocks here. Guys have stepped it up a notch. I think a lot of these guys knew, for a while, Ramsey had a stranglehold on this track. And, he did lose the championship a few years ago, but he was still right there and won a lot of races. So I think a lot of these guys wanted to step up their game, and they did it. And another part of it, too, is just the track prep, I think. Logan has done a great job this year. We've seen a lot of racy tracks. And tell you what, the track looks good right now. It looks a lot like how we've seen it every night we've showed up. And it's not humid out. So
No.
I think
Which is nice.
There's a good chance we could see this track get real slick. And I know there's one guy, that 95 hobby stock, Jared Lund, he would love to see this thing slick off. So
a lot of
Ice
good breeze
skating
out there. Good breeze out there too, folks. So it will dry the track out, but it's also nice for the grandstands. We've got a great breeze coming out of the south to cool you off. We have a lot of refreshments and food for you tonight. So we also have Jello shots going on tonight. We'll be discounting things in the souvenir stand, try to get rid of the rest of our shirts. We do have some farming shirts left over, and we do have a few tradition shirts still, so and some hoodies. So
yeah, we did not make tradition shirts this year. Just
we had some left over. We're going to try to get our inventory cleared out, so when we get everything changed around next year, we'll have new logos, new everything for the tradition, and we do have some hoodies down there too. So not that we'll need hoodies tonight. So
on the show tonight too, I'm messaging some guys right now. We're going to hopefully get some of our champions up here. I know Adam Hensel said he's going to come up, trying to get Sean Kralik up here, Jesse Dennis up here, try to get Brad Derry up here as well. So
John Berg would be the other one.
John Berg would be the other one. So it'd be nice to get our champions up here. I know Berg's already here. I might as well go down and message him, or I might message Taylor to go tell him to come up here. But we'd love to talk to our 5 champions, those names that I just mentioned. Several of them are repeat, but
2 aren't.
2 are not, and the Adam Hensel one I think was a shock to most. He told me in that interview last week at the beginning of the year, if you would have told me I would have been in this spot, he would have told me or that you were crazy. So because he's never ran for points anywhere before, he's always been a guy that's kind of just raced wherever, whenever he wants, and he was going to do the same thing this year, but he rattled off some wins there and got the point lead there during the middle of the season, and I think he just noticed, he's like, well, we might as well go for it because we're right there. So, and it was very impressive because we all know how tough our hobby stock class is, and just beating Luke Ramsey when Luke Ramsey's on his game like that is a feat in its own, and that 7H car, man, that thing is a lightning rod, and I know he's also going up to Super Nationals, I think, on tomorrow. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to do up there, because I really think he has a really good chance up there, because that car is so fast.
He can go anywhere on this track too, high, low, middle. It's amazing how that car's set up here, and but yeah, I'm sure he's looking forward to tonight as well to see what he can do against this big field and going for some big money tonight. So. We'll have him on a little bit later. Other than that, like we talked about, Evan, you mentioned this has been a fast year. Started out with 2 rainouts, had 2 rainouts in the middle, and that was it. So the year goes fast when you don't have breaks like that. Already working on the schedule for next year, which is kind of what you have to do to try to beat some of these things and get the dates set up. But we'll get that going here as quickly as possible, and looking forward to that. But as far as the whole year goes, guys, I was very, very happy with the car counts we had. I think we averaged right at where we normally are, is 80 to 85 cars.
Yep.
We've been averaging that for the last 3 and 4 years easy, so cannot complain with the way our economy is going, has happened, how fuel prices go, how everybody's budgets are tight. We've had great crowd counts. All of our specials have been well attended. Our late model races were huge again this year. Our sprint car race was awesome this year. All the sponsors we had, we can't thank them enough. Just like they're right out there. We start off with the floating vine compacts, our Chat Mobility hobby stocks, our O'Reilly B modifieds, O'Reilly stock cars, and
O'Reilly B mods.
O'Reilly B mods. I'm just confusing
North
myself.
and Old stocks cars.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sponsors and getting confused. Poa Power are finding modifieds, but those are 5 big sponsors of ours that we can't thank them enough. Always been great to have those on board. But you look at our signs. Hopefully you can see a lot of those in the background on our YouTube channel here too. But those sponsors that are on those signs have been with us for a lot of years, and it takes that sponsorship to keep this thing going, as well as the fans that come in those gates. So we can't thank all of you enough for the culmination of how the year went. And, this is the culmination of that, the tradition. And just like I can't say it enough, this has been a great, fun year. I look at how our things have gone for us business-wise, and this has been an awesome year. Can't thank NASCAR enough for what they've done to us, the Advanced My Track Challenge, winning regional on that again, getting money from them on that. So that's a neat thing, and it's because of you fans voting for us too. So
and we can go for that next year as well because
Yes,
we still haven't won it. So
Yep, going for the big prize of $50,000 every year. That's the cool thing about it. So we had to go up against a big monster this year in Canada. So, but we got them out of the way because they didn't go for it no more.
The wee track,
yeah, that's right.
the Quebec track.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of population up there.
It is, and they're huge race fans. And you look at their webpage, it's amazing. They're a huge race.
And we've said it before, just where we're geographically located. We're located in the least populated county in the state of Iowa, and that's not an opinion. That's a fact. So it's amazing the support that we do get in this area from a lot of people. It's a long, rich tradition, history down here, and we still have that strong support every single year. Cole and I look down the decks every single week, and it's the same people in the decks every single week, and you see the same faces that come each and every Saturday night, and there's just a lot of people and a lot of families that support this racetrack week in and week out that we can't thank enough, and it's because of people like you guys that support us is why we keep doing this and why the racers keep doing it, because we wouldn't be able to do it without our race fans, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the support from everybody that kind of helps and chips in, because it's not getting any easier in 2023. I hate to tell you, with the economy and everything like that, with our inflation and all that kind of stuff, it's just not getting any easier, and we haven't seen a significant drop-off. It's just been so consistent throughout the past 4 to 5 years, and you see some racetracks around the area that have had significant drop-offs. They have had a car count where it's a roller coaster. If you were to, I know Dre's into numbers and things like that. What he's wanting to do is go back on My Race Pass, and he's wanting to make a graph to show the tracks in our area and to show how our car count is so much more consistent than many other racetracks, because we get right around that certain number each and every week. And there's some racetracks that get a ton, and there's some racetracks that get a little amount, and it fluctuates every week, and that's hard from a business standpoint. It's very difficult to make money when you have that kind of stuff. So it's very easy for us down here business wise to keep going and make money and stuff like that because of our consistent support. So we thank everybody for all year long for supporting us, because we know how difficult it is some nights to get out here and just have your Saturday nights free. I mean, it's hard to get down here every Saturday night. I mean, you're giving up your Saturdays all summer long. So,
but it's a passion, and we're a big family.
Yep.
Like you said. I've been here because of it. It's a passion for this facility, a passion for the racing, passion for everything. But yeah, it's like you said, we are a regional racetrack, and like I said, you see a lot of the same people every week. That's what keeps us going, and that's the neat part about it. And it's all about introducing young fans and young kids to the sport after on the track and in the grandstand. So that's how it keeps this place going. But and I know we'll have some new board members coming on hopefully this year too, and we'll get some things there. So and it's 16 board members. We're all volunteers, and hands off to them. I tried to mention everybody last year is also of our support staff, and once again thank all them. So, but everything hopefully should be good to go for next year. We'll get it all set up in the off season. It's always a fun year. It's good to take a few weeks off, or maybe a month before we have to start getting our headaches going on all that stuff. But we'll get that going. But I tell you what, guys, we probably better take a first break. And then we'll come back and we'll have a guest here. So we'll have a guest coming on. So we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back to you with Pitside Live.
Subscribe to the KCSI Radio YouTube channel today. Interviews, parades, events, contests, and more. Subscribe to KCSI Radio on YouTube and get notified every time something fun happens.
could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy. Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels, giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit CamlinMechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Even if it's been years since you graduated, your college team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life, and auto, and home, and business insurance. Imagine that. One insurance agent for everything. It's that simple. So get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Elizabeth Davison in Clarinda and Shenandoah at 712-621-2878 for all your insurance and financial needs.
Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. Also, welcome to you YouTubers. Welcome back here on our YouTube channel on KCSI. There we go. Also, thank you to Fresco Systems, S&S Appliance, Primrose right here in Corning, Iowa. Great place to eat. Thank you to all of our sponsors, as usual, that support us here at Pitside Live, as well as KCSI Radio. Thanks again for everybody that helps us back to the studio, Lori and Aaron and Melanie. Whenever you're there, it helps us so much to keep this show going. So really appreciate it and really thankful for what we can do here. And we have a guest. It is our former and current point champion in our Floating Vines Compacts, John Berg. Welcome.
Thanks, Ed. It's been a little while, but it's great to be back in here in the AC as well.
So, you got that championship last year, and you came back and you backed it up. Was that your goal all year, or you just let the chips fall where they may? What was your plan, but you pulled her off?
One of the biggest things that we wanted to work on this year was be a little more consistent, and I had a feeling this class was going to get a little bit tougher, and it's kind of like what I mentioned Victory Lane a couple weeks ago when I was up here for the season opener show that Evan was talking about and seeing some guys step up, and there's a lot of drivers that have definitely stepped up. I mean, you had 9 different winners and 6 of those getting multiple wins, and you're seeing a bunch of new faces up contending for wins and getting wins as well. And we're seeing some drivers during the year that are starting to come back a little bit, and I think we're kind of getting a little bit of taste of what we can expect in 2024, and I think that's going to be great all the way around. But being able to wrap up the championship again for the second year in a row is definitely a great feat with the caliber of competition this year, and we were being a little more consistent with top 5 finishes. It's great, and also feels pretty good to be alongside Brian Van Osdale and also Dustin Thompson have won the championship in this class multiple years, and actually being alongside Thompson is being one of 2 guys winning this championship in the compacts back-to-back years. It's a pretty good feat.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it there, John Berg. It's kind of crazy how there was 9 different winners this year, and you went for a while there where you didn't win any races for a while, but it shows that your consistency is what got it done. And last year it was a little bit different story. You had a lot more wins last year, but again, wins isn't everything when you're going for points or anything like that. So it's something where it's just, you talk about the the competition, that's how much it's went up this year. But you just came out each and every Saturday night, and you finished in the top 5, I think, every night, but like 1 or 2, and it's very hard to beat somebody at points-wise when you do that. So,
exactly. Honestly, if we can, I felt like if we can get in top 5 and all but maybe 3 or 4 nights, I'd be pretty glad with it. But never would have thought we would have finished in top 5 15 out of 60 nights, and even the worst finish was still a 6,
right.
which I'm still pretty tickled to death with. And I mean, yeah, the win count was down, but like I said, a lot of it's got to do with the caliber of competition, and also you got to pick and choose your battles on whether to try to get the win for the night or look at the bigger picture. And we were, and also in a way, biggest thing in a way is we were just looking at the bigger picture for the year, and so it's been going pretty good this season, and I'm glad with everything we've accomplished this year, and already looking forward to tonight's action and what's to expect for next year.
You betcha. And like you said, the competition stepped up. I'm just looking at the list right now, and I'm just thinking of names here that impressed me throughout the whole year. And rookie Cody Albee, he was our rookie, it looks like, this year, beating out Travis Johnson for best rookie. But Justin Best has been stepping up his game. Tyler Hoover came back for a few times and kind of getting stepped up back. He's a former track champion, so that's more competition back in there. Destry Jarman getting that win, and Brian Vanazzo racing off and on. There's a lot of, with Tyler, Andrew Akers, Dustin Shepard, Xander, all those guys having wins. It's good to see that field evening out. That's what the fans like to see as well. But like you said, the competition has really evened out. It's stepping up its game just like it has in every field. So yeah, you said you're looking forward tonight, the rest of the season. Anything else you're planning on doing before the season's over this year?
I'm just gonna kind of keep our eye peeled on specials. And I know for just about the rest of this month we just got some other things going on, but we're looking at a couple specials in October. We might think about trying to hit up. And I noticed there was another special that just added earlier this week over in Denison. Just kind of looking at that one as well, kind of see like the place out. And I'd like to try to go up to Webster City for their 2-day special later in October. Remember whether we either try to get up there for one of the nights or maybe both the nights. We'll just have to see how everything plays out.
Did you race anywhere else this year at all? Have you been anywhere else at all so far this year?
No, unfortunately we haven't. When July kind of hit and we kind of see where we were sitting at for track, regional, and national, we just kind of wanted to keep focused on that, because not only was everything here at the track was really tough, but we also saw what things were like for regional and national points as well.
You bet. Totally understand. So yeah.
Well, John, you talked about how your worst finish this year was 6th, and there's a lot of things that has to go right for that to happen, and that's quite impressive, because especially in the compacts, it's not like a chassis where it's hand welded and everything like that. You're driving something that you bought from somewhere else, and there's a lot of things that have to go right to finish in the top 6 every single week. What was the difference this year compared to other years where how did it make it easier for you to do that?
I think a lot of it has to do with for some reason entering this year, we just felt I'd say like more relaxed in a way, and we kind of understand, and going back to the competition standpoint of kind of what to expect, but honestly, I didn't think the competition was going to be as tough as it was this year. I knew it was going to be tough, but it was at a different level this year versus last year, and I'm also kind of picking and choosing my battles a little better than I was a year ago. Because like I said, getting wins is great, right? But also when you're trying to also defend a title, you got to pick and choose those battles, because we were also looking at the bigger picture as well.
That's one thing that I've noticed this year from you as a driver is there was certain times where you would drive it hard into 1 or into 3, and I could see that you would either let off or make sure you don't hit somebody or stuff like that. And sometimes when you do look at that bigger picture, that makes you a better driver because you're taking care of your equipment more. Yeah, you may not get as many wins, but you're taking care of your equipment. You're making sure that you're finishing where you need to be. And at the end of the day, it's a fine line, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're just going for wins and you run over somebody or you door somebody and letting off and finishing third. So
right.
And I feel like that's one of the things you've done a really good job of this year. And Cole mentioned it earlier this year too, that in certain standpoints you weren't as aggressive this year. You were kind of a little bit more passive. Mm-hmm. So, and I've noticed that. I don't know if you've noticed that as in your driving, but I've noticed it.
Mellowing with age.
Yeah, or something along those lines.
But you definitely are more relaxed this year, and I know last year there was a lot more pressure because you have never won a championship before, but it's kind of like getting your first win, it's the monkey's off the back, and you've done it, and it's just, yeah, you're going for wins, but you know what it takes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to get to ask the question here that everybody loves, and number one, you already said you guys are looking forward to next year, and obviously that's in the same car, but okay, you've won 2 championships now. Or have you had the itch of moving to a different class, or ever thought of that, or what do you think might happen in the future? Any inklings you might want to think about that, or?
Well, when I think there's a ditch, there's a certain someone that kind of gets rid of that itch for me, but
gotcha. I understand.
But I mean, if the opportunity ever arises where we can, and yeah, that'd be great. But it's also like one of those things I've told some people about that, like, even if it's a situation where even 10 to 15 years down the road and I'm still in this, and I'm still racing in compacts, would I be upset about never having that opportunity to move up? I mean, yeah. Everybody will always get that inclination of what could have and what might have been, but the opportunities that I've been given in this compact class and being able to have the success that we have that will outweigh any what could have or what might have been that wouldn't ever come. And I'm just proud and just thankful for everything that we've been able to accomplish so far in this class. And we're always looking forward to the future, but we can always be proud of being able to look back and everything that we accomplished, and it can always put a smile on my face.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to say there's nothing wrong with sticking with a compact. It's like we just got through saying, the competition is getting stiffer, and there's it's all about economics. Mm-hmm. We know that too. So it's an economical class, and there's nothing wrong with sticking with it. I guarantee you that for sure. So another thing, a lot of drivers say, and ones that get out of it come back, it's all about having fun too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hobby. You do it for you do it for your enjoyment. You do it for the adrenaline rush.
Yep.
But one thing that I've heard just from fans talking to me this year is, you go to a lot of racetracks, and sometimes people joke around how, well, compacts are up, time to go take a pee or whatever, But this year I've heard from a lot of guys, a lot of fans, that they've been very impressed with the racing that we have down here, and it's nothing like any other racetrack. Because a compact race down here is, you guys are, 4 or 5 wide on the restarts. You're going into one, and it's just like you're just in this huge pack, and it looks like rush hour traffic. And then several times throughout the year, there's been last lap passes, and you guys door each other every once in a while, which is fun to watch. And it's just, I'm not saying this because I'm biased to Adams County Speedway. I'm saying this because I watch a lot of races at a lot of racetracks, whether it's on Flow Racing, XR, whether it's on Dirt Vision, all different kinds of things. And there is no other racetrack that I have seen where compacts race like we do down here. There isn't.
And especially to also point out, even when it comes to even being behind the wheel at other tracks, like whether it was up in Spencer or Webster City or wherever, and like you said, even watching it. And I mean, the cars at those tracks, they put on good competition as well. But it's also, like you said, it almost seems like the level of competition that's here is probably on a greater level Well, and and to mention that point about being 5 wide entering turn 1, I didn't even know there was 2. I knew we were 3 wide. I didn't know there was 2 other cars.
Oh my God! There was that one. I think there was a car down here on the bottom guardrail. If he would have joined you guys would have been 6 wide. I mean, it was ridiculous.
I saw Dustin Shepard poking his nose down there. I'm like, uh-oh, this can't be good.
Cole about lost his voice over here that night. Cole was like, "Oh my God!"
I don't know if it had something to do, because that night was also the Salute to Truckers night when they pulled out with the Keen Thummel tow truck. I'm like, please tell me this isn't an omen of what's to come tonight. When they were using it at the base car.
That thing was a little bit overkill, but
that truck could have picked up about 5 of you cars at the same time.
It could have picked up maybe the whole field at one time. That thing's a rig now.
Yeah,
but
I was kind of hoping we didn't put that to the test when we got into turn 1 on that feature.
But this track really tests a compact's equipment. It tests what you got, not only under the hood, but what you got in your A-arms, your shocks, your frame. Because it's so much more. It's such a more demanding racetrack than other racetracks, because you're actually, hitting the chip, as we say, down the front straightaway or down the back straightaway, whereas other racetracks you're just kind of going like a constant speed and it's just like nonstop turning. And the problem with running, and I'm saying this because I just don't like watching compacts at a small racetrack because they can't get up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see what it actually is. So compacts down here look so much more like a rear wheel race car than other racetracks. They do.
Mm-hmm.
So
when we started the compacts, my question to every driver we had on the show was, why do you like racing here? And every one of you guys said the same thing. You like to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
You like the speed.
Yeah.
I mean, you do. You carry a lot more speed here than you do most of the other tracks.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah.
Compact.
I think the one track that could probably rival it, even though there hasn't been a race for that class there yet, would probably be I-70 down in Odessa, because we went down there a couple years ago when they reopened and they had an open house testing tune down there, and we went down there with the car we ran in 2021, and that track, it is, when I went out there, it was literally foot to the floorboard, no letting up.
Yeah,
but
fast track.
Yeah, it's fast and nice facility down there as well.
Yep.
Our old sister track I-80, I always compare it to, because I-80 was very fast as well. Because I mean,
high banked.
It was high banked, and it was foot to the floor too. But there's so much straightaway speed here that you have to keep your momentum up, and it's very technical around here because you have to make sure that you don't lose your momentum on entry, because when you lose that momentum on entry, the car then washes out, pushes up the racetrack, and then you're looking at 3 spots you just lost right there. So
exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what, John. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And especially going back to the competition topic on it, with how tougher this class is going to be. It's one of those things that every spot matters. You got to hit your marks, or you kind of get that Daytona Talladega factor that you get out of line just enough. You're going from the lead or second back to about 6 or 7.
Right, exactly,
or more.
I'll tell you what, congratulations on the championship, backing it up. But I know it takes a lot of people, sponsors. I want you to make sure you mention them before you get out of here for sure. So, it's a family, friends. It takes a lot of people.
Yeah, and I always like to say I can never thank them enough for everything they do, whether it's helping me turn wrenches on it, or supporting us in any way, shape, or form, and I just can never thank them enough. And got Burke Family Farms, McIntosh Family, Lennox Family Hardware, Glendenny Motor Company, Hewlett & Son Auto Salvage, NRB Diesel, Wicked Ways Design and Fabrication, Haley and Doolittle Families, Creston Animal Rescue Efforts, Ellis Bohr Real Estate, Western Iowa Racing Results, Schaefer Specialty Lubricants, sales rep Dennis Elliott, 4BRM, 10G Racing, Dustin Grout, and he helped me out with a couple things on the car this year, including pretty much essentially an engine rebuild. build from a few weeks ago, and it's still holding strong. H&S Auto and Motive and Dyno, Frito-Lay. The fans for always coming out to spend their hard-earned money to come watch us do something that we love to do, and we can never thank them enough for that. And definitely can't thank my wife Brooke enough for all her support and being able to let me do something that we love to do. And now I got a second championship out of it, and now just kind of have to wait and see how everything on a national standpoint plays out. And
right.
And
that old waiting game, because we ended early. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So.
That's right.
You know, I love it because you get to see that Glendenning motor on the side. Plus, you mentioned it, but I'm still waiting for that day we can get Todd or Paul up here in a compact too. So
I try to get Paul. We had something lined up to have Paul run a car a couple years ago, but some other things come up and wasn't able to do it. But that's still one thing I like to get checked off the list is put Paul behind the wheel of a compact.
I would love to get Paul back into a race car that we race here weekly, and so he could be down here every week again. So I know he's a late model guy, and I know he's been a late model for a lot of years.
We are too, but
I would love to see him back here.
So. Compact will work perfectly for him.
or heck, if it's just even like a little grudge match between him and John Hample or something.
Absolutely. I flipped John crap the night he was here too in the booth. You know, same thing. Like, got to get him down here in compact with a 2H car. You betcha. So
absolutely,
get the 33 and 2H out there. So anyway, John, thanks for coming up. Congratulations on the win, and that hopefully we'll watch, like you said, we'll watch the regional points, see how they play out, and hopefully we'll get to get down to the national convention this year because they are having one. I know that for a fact. So
we don't know what city it's in, right?
I do know what city it's in. So I just can't announce it yet.
You can't say it. So. It's not in Indianapolis. It
is not in Indianapolis, and it's a standalone event. So I do know that. So we're looking forward to it. So,
well, John, you got $500 to go for tonight. That's a pretty good chunk of change for a compact class. It's going to be wild tonight. There's probably going to be some different faces you're going to have to run against tonight, but it's just not any different than a regular night.
I think you know this track pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. I've already seen I've already seen probably 2 or 3 new faces just in our class alone that's already arrived here. So it should definitely be a pretty fun night.
You bet.
And may the best driver win.
You betcha.
Right.
All right, race fans. That was our track champion and our floating vine compact, John Berg. Congratulations. We're going to take another quick break and hopefully be back with another track champion here as we return.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC, equal.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no-appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here at KCSI 95.3 radio out of Red Oak, and also on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching us here, and you can go back and watch all of the YouTube videos all year long. Got to give a big shout out to all our sponsors for making this possible, everything like that. One thing I do want to mention before I forget, Saturday, September 30th, down here at the racetrack here in Corning, R&S Auto is putting on the Sorensen Collection auction. There is over 100 American Classic cars that are going to be auctioned off here, and we got some of the pictures here. There's going to be some really cool stuff here, anywhere between old Chevrolet, GMC, Oldsmobile, Buick, Pontiacs, Cadillacs, Fords, Mercurys, Volkswagens, Plymouth, Dodge, Chrysler. There's going to be all kinds of stuff down here. I know I'm just going to come down and look. It's going to be pretty cool, but we have a new guest over here to my right. It is our first time O'Reilly Auto Part B Modified Track Champion, Mr. Sean Kralik. What is up?
Hey, how are you guys?
It is, it's crazy, isn't it, that last year you it was an end that you didn't want to happen, and it came down to the last couple nights, and this year it was, you just turned the tides, and I know you really were kind of deciding if you were going to do it again, if you weren't going to do it again, because it's so stressful, but it's got to feel good, man, just to be like, God, I finally did it.
Yeah, it's a big relief, and we just kind of did our thing, let everything fall into place. Obviously, the last 5 or 6 nights were kind of stressful. Just you're kind of playing that game, and maybe not driving the car as hard as you need to, just because you need to have good finishes. But yeah, last year made us faster. I ain't saying we probably were on point all this year, but we made it work and it happened, and that's a huge relief.
Well, you talk about good finishes, and I pulled up your results here from the year. I mean, 4 wins and 16 top 5s, and you got a top 5 in every feature you ran. So I mean,
it's pretty impossible to beat.
Even the nights that you thought maybe you were a little off, still great finishes. I mean, have you ever had a season as consistent?
No, probably not. That's probably about it. And consistency does pay off. So a lot of them we did get lucky that we just come up through there, and maybe some people had some bad luck that we kind of capitalized on it, but we'll take it. I know we went up Stewart one night just because on a whim on a Sunday, and we finished second up there to Cam Reimer, so we could run with them guys too.
I was there watching.
So
I have a new nickname for you.
Oh, God.
It's the closer.
Oh,
because you are a closer. You are a guy where you're kind of just piddling around back there, not really overdriving the car, and then all of a sudden, you know how it is in the B mods. There's a lot of restarts, and on those last couple restarts, you just shoot out of a cannon. And I don't know how many times I said this year, like, where did the zero car come from? Because you weren't battling for the lead, and with point average, you'd have to start, fourth, fifth row, and right there at the end, man, how do you do it, man? You were just right there every single time.
Just got to play it smart, I guess, and just let everything sort itself out. And it's playing the safe game, which I know kind of sucks, but I know at the beginning of the year I wasn't really doing that as much. Maybe hanging back a lap or two, but I just trying to keep your nose clean. I had several close calls, also while being careful. So you got to keep that front end in good shape, and pays off, I guess, in the end. And cautions do help. Sometimes they hurt. I know last weekend it was terrible. We were single file on lap 3 or 4, and I mean in 11th place, and that's a long ways up there. And I guess we made it to 5th or something, 4th or 5th, something like that.
You got it done.
Yeah. So no, it's tough, but we make it work.
It seemed to be you and Bryce Allen. Bryce Allen just all year. It's like
your cars look exactly the same.
Yeah, it would get 5. It would be like halfway through the race, and you're like, oh, here comes the 2 blue and yellow and black.
They're not
going
to look exactly the same next year, because I've seen some pictures. So
I asked Bryce what color we're going to do our cars next year. He thought that was funny. So, yeah. I'll be showing that to everybody.
I haven't shown it to nobody.
That looks nice. No, we were actually going to change it. Well, normally the body gets tore up pretty bad halfway through, so
it's been pretty straight this year.
It's been pretty dang straight, so we didn't end up changing body panels, and so here we are. But we'll be ready for next year on that deal, I guess. So.
I don't think people really realize how impressive, especially in the B mods, how impressive it is to finish in the top 5 every week. I mean, honestly, to me, that's more incredible than winning a track championship, because you know how it is. There's some nights where we're single file within 5 laps of the race, right. and it's really hard to pass, especially on restarts when you're single file, because the leaders are in 4 and you might be farther back, and you're gassing it coming into 3.
Right.
So you said keeping your nose clean, but like, what are some of the things that you did this year, man? That it's incredible to me how every week you were in the top 5.
Brad Bergen said I had a 406 in. That helps. So we got all that power, which I do need to thank Mid-State Machine for that. And I think a lot of guys are running his stuff now, which is we've been on it for a long time. It's just good equipment and good horsepower, and shoot out the corner pretty good with it. I don't know. We were working on setup all year long, changing things, trying things, and we fell off. And then we kind of went back a few pages and got everything sorted out. And tonight's going to be, we're in the rhubarb, we're going to win, because we're trying something that we've been wanting to try tonight. So
you might as well, right?
I have nothing to lose.
You have nothing to lose tonight.
I got no stress on my shoulders about this whole race, so it'll be actually be fun.
And that's got to be nice.
Yeah, no, this will be a fun race. The last several races, I wasn't having fun. I was stressed out about the whole thing, but Bryce was super good to me all year. There's a few times I got around him, he got around me. We could have done some dumb stuff. We both were respecting each other, and that means a lot. It really does. It's always nice when your competitors respect you. So
Bryce said it last week in his interview when he got that win from the DQ, and he said, it's pretty much impossible to beat a guy that finishes in the top 5 every week.
Right.
I mean, the only way that you're going to beat somebody that like you is Bryce would have had to win probably over half the races this year to do that. So
no, that's what I was. It's a rule of thumb. They always say if you finish 3rd every night, you'll win a championship. So we tried. Obviously,
heck, I think if you finish at least 5th every night, especially the way it is with the B mods and how much carnage there is sometimes.
Sure.
Well, and the parity is a lot of it too. I mean, you see guys run up front battling for the win, then they'll show up next week and they're running in 10th for the next feature. So I just think that consistency. I mean, it speaks to your team and the commitment. So no, it's just good to see. I up at the front, it seemed like there was a lot of clean battling this year, like you mentioned. So it's cool to see that respect. And
just look at his race car.
Yeah,
straight.
It's still pretty straight. We could do something about that tonight, I guess.
Hey, that'd be fun. So one thing I've noticed this year, Sean, and with a lot of guys around here lately is if you can consistently run the bottom quick and pass cars on the bottom and have so much drive off the corners like you do, you're going to pick up spots.
Yeah.
Daniel Bowther was doing that towards the beginning of the year. It was you and him that had so much drive off the bottom. I feel like with this year, I feel like you are a catfisher at heart, but you get so many guys on the bottom.
Right. Yeah. No. you can blame that on Hauk. He taught me all that for years and years.
Catfishing?
Oh, yeah. So phone call after phone call about finessing the brakes and the gas and keeping it down, doing what you need to do.
I mean, anybody can get up there on the wheel and mash the gas on the top, but it takes finesse to on the bottom.
Yeah. I just never have liked the high side. I would be better if there's a wall around it just to gauge something off of, but my left eye's not that great, so that's no shit. So, no, running the bottom just seems to work better for me, and just I guess I was just taught all them years from him to how to do it and what works and what doesn't work, I guess.
When I do think of Hauk's racing back when I was a kid, he was the same way. I remember the 5-star was always on the bottom.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, he's pretty much got me going on that, and it just works for me. So
don't fix something that ain't broke.
Yep. If you can finesse it, get down there, capitalize off that, somebody's going to slip up there, and you're going to sneak under them. So
one thing that I think is so impressive too is you're running an open motor, and that makes it a little bit harder running the bottom because there's a lot more horsepower. So
well, not necessarily. The torque on a crate would help you more on the bottom, honestly.
Right.
In my opinion, the 4-barrel carburetor would be a better scenario for
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
But
what you're driving is a little bit harder.
All in all, I mean, it is what it is. Anymore they try to make these rules so close that I don't know. I know there's certain scenarios where the open motor's better, but that crate motor's no slouch. There's go back and look at all the races been won on a crate motor down here. So it's
right.
It's neat to see. It kind of comes in waves and goes. I think top 5 guys are probably running a mid-state motor now, or some sort of a open motor that runs well. So, no, it's neat to see how all that works. Our program hasn't changed, and it's just people are doing different things now. So,
yeah. Now that kind of seems to be the thing over these last few years. I think maybe 4 years ago, like you've seen a lot of guys starting to switch to the opens, and now a lot of those guys that switched are going back to crates. It's just probably just one of those monkey see, monkey do things.
Sure.
But
I think it goes with driving style.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm more of a stop and go driver, I guess. You can't tell. So the momentum, it'd be hard to. And the setup comes down to everything. The biggest problem with the Sport Mod B Mod is getting your car too tight, and you don't have enough power to be that tight, and you're just floorboard deep. Just everything's just locked down, and it's not going.
That's right. And I just feel with an open, the advantage is you have more top end speed on the straightaways. I mean, not a ton, but you can see it some days, and it also depends on track conditions too, and it does. But they make crate motors so good nowadays. My God, there's not that much difference. But I feel like with an open, you have a little bit more maintenance probably to do on it. And
some. It's just they're probably not going to last as long. But a crate motor out there getting hot every other night, they're going to be junk in 10 nights too. So.
Right.
It's whatever.
Yeah, but
what else do you want to talk about?
Well, I tell you though, Kralik, it's really good to have you win this year, because I know last year it was tough for you because you really stepped up your game last year. I mean, that was kind of the first year that I really saw how you just like ramped it up last year to the max, and because you were really trying to beat that A5, and this year it was the same, but I feel like this year you had a little bit more consistency within yourself, and your driving style changed a little bit where you may not have been as aggressive as you were last year.
Last year I was being pretty aggressive at times just to keep him behind me as long as I could, because he's coming around. That guy's fast. He's got good equipment. He's no slouch. He's proved that in and out. So no, I feel like last year we were faster overall as a team, but this year, without him in it, he come down that one night and proved how fast he was. And I don't know. It is what it is. We'll see. Is he here tonight?
I think so.
I hope so.
But I think he's running an A mod, so
that's no fun.
I don't think he's running his B mod, but
yeah. Well, because
it's not fixed from the other night.
Before you thank your sponsors, I want to ask you, what do you want to see out of the track tonight? You want this thing slick top to bottom?
I liked last weekend. It was really good. We got it blowed off. It took 5 or 6 laps.
He wants moisture on the bottom.
Well, I would love moisture on the bottom, absolutely. But with the sun out starting a little early, I don't know.
It's going to dry off quick, so Logan's going to have to stay on top of it.
Sure. No, I liked last weekend. I wish we could get more tracks like that to get us dialed in better for it. We were pretty much off last weekend, but we salvaged. So, ultimately, nice string around the bottom, but I don't think it's going to be there. Haven't had rain in weeks. So. Yeah.
From a farmer standpoint, I mean,
we're burning up.
Yeah, but the corn's already starting to change. But the beans probably need it.
Beans are hurting. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I got a pile of sponsors here again to thank for all the help, and it goes with Salt Race Cars, Carlick Farms, Haynes Farms, 5 Star Trucking, CNA Trucking, Redman Construction, James Farms, Napa of Creston, Stevenson Trucking, Don's Body Shop, Hess Trucking, Calhoun Farms, Alliger Farms, Murphy Family Farms, Tucker Schmidt Trucking, Odin Products, and Jameson Farms. And then, of course, all my friends, family. We wouldn't be down here without you every weekend, keeping things going. So we got a good crew, and they put up with me this long. So we'll see. Give it another night.
What's the rest of the year look like for you before we get you out of here?
We're done. We got corn harvest started up north.
Sounds like a true farmer.
We're done. This is it. I'm glad.
This is it, man.
I'm glad to be here. I haven't been tradition since 2018. So.
Yep.
I've been doing
corn
harvest.
Because I know when we do run late, and right now I think the goal is next year is to run it early. So so we don't get into harvest.
Yeah. Nope. But
absolutely.
Can't appreciate everything you guys do. It's a good track, and all your guys' help and keeping everything rolling.
Yep.
I love it.
It's gonna keep going, but next year you are gonna be the guy to beat. You are. And you got to get ready for your speech at the banquet.
See, then you got to do that to me. I don't know.
You got to speak, man. Speech.
Yeah,
just don't be like Chubbs and be drunk, just so drunk that you can't even stand up. Don't do that. So, well, we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and then our hobby stock champions up next. So we'll be right back with you.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pit Side Live. Little quick intermission there, and we are at the top of the hour. You are listening to KCSI 95.3 Radio out of Red Oak, KOAK 1080 AM, along with our YouTube channel. Thanks to all our sponsors again. Maddox Riffing was that last one. We can't do it without you guys, so thanks for the support. Thanks to the family over there at KCSI. We'll get on our soapbox about them towards the end of the show, but we are here with our probably most surprising champion this year. It is the 7H car out of Atlantic, Iowa, Adam Hensel. What is up, man, and how does it feel?
I don't know.
It still hasn't sunk in yet?
I should be really excited about it, but I don't think it's really set in yet anyways.
It will when the banquet comes around and you get your trophy and you get the money and you know, you get the name of being a track champion and there's been a lot of names down here, a lot of history down here with hobby stocks and things like that, and you are now on that list, and it's probably a list that you probably never thought you'd be on.
No.
And you've been a guy, and I told people this earlier this year that when people ask me, who's Adam Hensel? And I say, well, he's a guy that used to race stock cars. He had ponies on his car a while back, and he's always been a guy that's been hit or miss at different racetracks. He kind of just races wherever he wants to and doesn't take things too seriously. And this year, just what happened, man?
I just never tried racing anywhere for a full season, and now I kind of remember why I don't. I mean, granted, I'm glad I got it, but I don't think I'll ever do that much work again.
It's very stressful, and it shows how much work you have to do to do it.
Well, and especially down here, because I mean, there's a lot of fast cars down here.
And the shows that we've had down here, man, it's been wild.
It's fun. I'll say that.
Yeah, but I tell you what, something that makes that work pay off. You know, when I look at your stats throughout the year, 3 wins, 15 top 5s out of 16 mains. And, you know, obviously the only one was when we had the accident in turn 4, which I know you didn't mean to do that. That was just one of those racing.
The fans loved it, man. That was a show right there.
It was a wild finish. But if it wasn't for that, you would have finished in the top 5 every night. And, I mean, we talked about it with Sean that was just on here. The consistency is what wins a championship. And, I mean, did you guys change up anything on your program? You're still in a home-built car, right?
Yep, same car, same everything. Same motor. I think it's got 68 nights on it now.
She's a beast.
It may or may not make it.
Old Trusty.
Trusty Rusty.
So.
And everybody asks me, he's like, what's he running? What's he running? I'm like,
who knows?
We don't really know. I mean, it's just one of those things, and I love seeing that kind of stuff because it kind of takes you back in time a little bit, how people just ran what you bring, and
that's what the hobby stock class was supposed to be. Was supposed to be. Well, I mean, that's the way.
That's the way compacts are supposed to be too.
That's the way every class was supposed to be way back in the day. But
it looks good from the top, but you about need a tetanus shot to be underneath it. So.
Yeah.
Call it the old Trusty Rusty. But you know, it just shows how talented of a driver you really are. The drive that you've had this year has just been incredible. I mean, you're there every single night. I mean, you put your nose where it needs to be. You stay out of trouble where you need to be, and it just shows that I think you surprised a lot of people this year.
It's taken a lot of years to get there.
And how long have you been driving now? If you don't mind me asking.
I think my first year was 2008.
2008. And that was in a hobby?
Yeah, that was in a hobby.
Because you went hobby, stock car, then back to hobby.
Yeah.
And I know you went back to hobby. We asked you about that a while back, and you know, just financially and everything like that, a little bit more stable and things like that. But going into this year, what was the mindset, and how did it change to the end of the year?
You know, we really didn't have any plans at the beginning of the year, just to hop around, hit specials, run wherever we want. And, you know, halfway through the year when we're doing good in points, and figured might as well try it. And then I didn't really race anywhere the rest of the summer after that. So, and
again, that proves my point right there. You've always been a guy that's never, you know, wanted to do that, because you reminded yourself at the end of the year how hard it is, and it takes a lot of work, and especially in this class, I mean, it's just like ramped up to another level, and it's just amazing to me the consistency that you did have this year. The chips just fell where they may. I'm sure you can probably look back at some nights where you missed a wreck by this much, or made a decision that you should have made, that if you made the other decision then you would have been. But you know, tell me about towards the end of the season, did that mindset change of just finishing or were you still going for wins?
Oh, I still just want to win. Being able to finish up there with a lot of these guys, I mean, that's saying something in itself, but I'd still rather win.
Gotcha. Well, you've got the nickname the Blazing Banana now. I like that. And
yeah, I think whether I want it or not, it's here to stay.
Yeah, the guys like it. The fans like it. I know when you did win the track championship, you had a lot of people up here that you probably don't even know that were cheering for you, because they love seeing new people win, and especially somebody that they probably would have never expected to win, because you've never done this before.
Yeah, no, it surprised me, and you know, some of the other guys I used to race with back before, and we were used to getting booed all the time. So,
well, you've got a fan base down here. It sounds like to me that you need to get some T-shirts, some track championship T-shirts that have some bananas on it or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, as long as they're not bright yellow.
Make them black with yellow.
I was already told it's got to be yellow, because one of my sponsors said he's painting it yellow if I don't. So
there you go.
It's gonna be the signature.
It's stuck now. You're the Banana Mobile now, but you need to call it Banana Boat and see if you can get that sponsored. Sunscreen. So
I guess I'll take the yellow over the pink.
Yeah.
and the ponies. Well, that was for the kids one year, and that was actually a really cool wrap. I remember that you had the My Little Pony on there and things like that. I like that kind of stuff because it gets the kids more involved. But maybe next year we can put a big old plantain on the side of there or something. But Cole, you got anything for him?
Oh, not really. I just, man, I tell you what, the way you've been running towards the end of this season, I mean, those last couple races, your car just had a lot of speed. So I'm sure going into the night, I'm sure you have a lot of confidence. There's some heavy hitters here for sure. And I was trying to look at the car total, but there's still some guys that are yet to check in. But it's looking pretty good, and I think you're going to have a good shot at it.
I hope so.
There are going to be some new faces down here tonight, I know. But, again, it's hard to beat our locals down here because you know how tough it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to be an outsider to come down here and win because you got to be on your game. You got to have your setup right. You got to know what shocks to run. You got to make sure you know how much bite you have in your right rear. Yeah, it's a hobby stock, but still, you got to know what you're doing. So, but Adam, I know all year long you've got a really big support group down here now, and you had a lot of family members that came down after the win and things like that. They were super ecstatic. I saw some tears out there. But who do you want to thank? Sponsors, people?
Oh, geez. I'm always on the spot with that.
No, you're good.
Middle of Nowhere Bar and Cafe, Rainey and Katie Anderson, they've been with me since the beginning. We've all started racing together. I mean, if it wasn't for them keeping me in cars and all the motors I've blown up over the years, I probably wouldn't even be racing. So, but we got Checked It, Crane Training in Atlantic, Lund Custom, Atlantic Wheel and Tire, Archball Construction. I'm going to forget half of them. I do every time. So,
but I know you'll have time to thank all these people at the banquet and things like that. But now you have to get up and speak. Are you nervous about that?
Yeah, I'm not very good at that.
Well, you're going to have time, and the spotlight's going to be yours, and I'm sure we're going to have you playing some ridiculous game during the banquet that might embarrass you. It might be some trivia, or you might be paired up with Brad over here. You might have to eat some spicy food or something. I don't know. We'll come up with something because we have to heckle all our champion. That's how it works. So prepare to get heckled.
I guess.
Prepare.
I'll be there
because it happens. So, but make sure you invite all those people to come out because it's your time. We're there to honor our champions, and it's a big honor because you deserve it. It's a lot of work, and you did it. And you know what? If you never do it again, who cares? Because you did it.
That's where I'm at.
Yep.
I'll probably be back chasing specials again next summer.
There you go.
Well, that was a driver of the 7H car, Adam Hensel. We're going to take one more break here before we come to the checkered flag. We got one guest left, and thanks for being on, Adam.
Yep, thank you, guys.
All right, we'll be right back with you.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. It's the tradition tonight, so Welcome back. We're coming to the checkered flag on this show for the night and the year, and we have our last guest tonight, a familiar face because we had him on last week for good luck, so let's back it up here. So it is your track champion for our Northland Stock Cars, Brad Derry. Welcome back, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on here.
Well, tell you what, Brad, you knew what you had to do out there, of course, but
yeah,
consistent year, and like we've talked about, the field, it grew as the year got on, and, I'll remember to bring something up here a little bit later, but anyway, the field kept growing as the year gone on. You brought a couple of cars, a couple of times and helped out some things there, but it's few but mighty. I've always said that. It's a fun class, and you guys are all very competitive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the first 10 laps of that race, it's slicing and dicing with everybody, and for the most part, we're pretty much all respectful to each other, and that's how we like to race up here.
And I think I was going to mention anyway is new blood, and I won't say new blood, but it's like old new blood. Anyway, Tony came back. I've already heard rumors of another driver coming back next year. Yeah. I know they're talking to some other guys wanting to get them to switch too. So, to me it's exciting because I think it would be really awesome to see that happen. So.
It would. It'd be great if we could get 16 to 20 cars here every night. I mean, it just really would be. Or even more than 20 far as that goes.
Absolutely right. So, and hopefully we're going to see that tonight, which we should. But I've seen some cars pull in, and we know there's some cars coming, and the pits are filling up fast, which is a good thing. So, but it's going to be probably some new competition tonight, hopefully.
Yep.
Nothing that you're not familiar with, but. Just to go back, what an awesome year for you. Good to have you as our track champion. You're always a great representative of our facility, and we really appreciate it. But can't thank you enough. And started out this year. I'm trying to recap here, but did you switch cars during the year?
See, we had a new 2023 B&B, and we struggled with it for the first 8 races or so, and. We was racing 2 tracks, and that's the whole reason we got 2 cars so I can race a Friday and a Saturday so I don't have to ruin my Saturday, because we work on Saturdays to work on a race car. And then by the time you work on a race car from 6:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, you got a 2-hour span, and it's like, well, now what? We could have worked for 2 hours, So anyway, that's kind of the way that goes. But that's why we have 2 cars, and just because we like to race more than one night a week, but not always does that happen, but it is what it is. So,
my memory as I get older is not there, but that's what I'm kind of reminiscing back to the first of the year.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't that
great. It was kind of
a
struggle bus. Yeah, if I remember right, it was. Yeah,
so it wasn't that great for us. We were really struggling trying to find out some stuff, and worked with Paul Berger pretty closely with B&B Chassis, trying to get that thing dialed in because. Our 22 car we had that we barrel rolled over here at the south end of the track, that thing was pretty quick. I got a lot of I had 17 seconds for that thing.
Really?
And never did win. So, and, there wasn't that much change between the 22 and the 23, so I thought, we'll be pretty close. Well, not even close.
I talk about that night because that was the night I was in charge, so I don't like talking about that.
Yeah, it just happens. Racing deal, everything happens.
Yeah,
so.
I was just like, what the? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I know you were the same way.
Yeah.
I think you were a little sore the next day on that deal.
Yep,
that was
a little
hard roll.
Yeah,
so
nothing like Ryan Priest though the other night.
Oh, yeah. You see his eyes today?
I did.
Oh man, he looked like Best. Yeah, old Sharky.
Yeah, Sharky. That's the weirdest thing when they do that.
Yeah.
Boy. So
see, when he did his first interview, I think on Tuesday, they said he was cleared. I think it was Tuesday, might have been Wednesday. He left his glasses on. I'm like, I know what's under there.
Man.
So, but kudos to him. I'm glad that turned out okay. I was actually on the way home from the races and thumbing through the Facebook, and I seen that, and my heart stopped. I mean, it just stopped. It really did.
Yeah,
so.
I was announcing the feature when it happened, and I remember looking down, and I told Evan, I was like, man, you might have to announce, like, I can't believe what I just watched. Like, it was crazy. So
I rewatched because I was counting how many times you rolled in the air.
Yes.
That was just amazing. So it's like, that's a lot of speed going down that thing. So I've been down there twice, and that's
we went this year. Matter of fact, for Taylor and I's honeymoon, we went down there and we had a great time down there. We had a great time at Volusia, watched them racing there too, and it was a lot of fun this winter.
As a race car driver, I was having a conversation with a buddy. Could you ever do that? Could you? I mean,
200 mile an hour.
Could you imagine doing 200 mile an hour inches off of each other for 3 hours straight?
It's probably no different than 100 mile an hour off each other for that long. I mean, you're on pavement. I mean, I suppose, but
man, it's got to be a wild feeling, you know. That
it would be.
You have like an 85% chance of wrecking.
So for the Xfinity race, we was down there and we was actually in the pits, and from the stands, it looks like they're going quick, you know, but when you're actually in the pits and you're looking at them, it's like, whoa, that is pretty quick.
I know. I always tell people at Kansas Speedway, they have that walk-down tunnel right outside Turn 1, and I'm like, you want to get a gauge of how fast those guys are going, stand right next to that wall. And, man, it's crazy. But
it is, for sure.
I tell you what, you know, I have your results up here. You got 5 wins, 13 top 5s, 15 top 10s. So, I mean, you're in the top 10 every week, which, you know, some of the weeks that you had an automatic top 10.
Right.
But a lot of consistency there. And something we try to tell people all the time, just the commitment that takes. You know, I've been around a few guys, and I've seen, like, just how much work it takes. You guys aren't putting the car in the box and then getting it out next Saturday to go, so...
Right, yeah. I figure that, you know, if you race it one night, you've got, at minimum, you know, between 4.5 to 5 hours to get it back to going, you know. So if you race a Friday night and then you turn around and race Saturday, that's about how long we put in it with being a one-man show or whatever, you know. But that's kind of the way it is most nights, and it is what it is, and we go with it. So
yeah, well, I know I can say that I appreciate what you guys do, because, I mean, it, you know, you're putting on a show for us. I mean, we work up here and announce, but a lot of people forget that these are just average guys that you'll see off working on a farm or doing just anything, you know. So it takes a lot of commitment, and I know a lot of us appreciate getting to watch you guys do this. So
95% of the work that gets done to that car is after 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is the time that it happens.
Yeah. I mean,
unfortunately.
I think, am I turned back up? I don't know if I'm turned back
up
or not.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I just didn't want to hear myself. Sorry, I had to take a phone call. Anyway, but that, you know, and I know that's a lot. Growing up, had 2 drivers in Ottaway, John Apple, but no, it was a lot of fun too.
It is, but it gets kind of...
When you're younger.
Yeah, I was.
No.
There's a rule in our place. If we're doing anything on the car, you don't start
Right.
doing anything till we're done, because there's too many silly things that can happen otherwise. So.
Exactly right. So it's, that's the only thing that was neat about. I remember going down there. It was an air conditioned shop. That was
mine is now too in my garage.
Hey, there we go.
That's a new thing this year.
Yeah,
I'm sure that helped a lot. This last half of the season.
It's young days, but now it's older but wiser.
I tell you what, I'm not complaining what that unit cost at all.
Yeah, it doesn't take much on that. I'll tell you. Like, especially after 2 weeks ago or whatever that was, a week ago even, whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty warm.
Horrible. So anyway, but tell you what, you know, great season, but you know, you're here tonight. What are the things you plan on doing the rest of the year?
We're going to run some specials here and there. I don't know if we're going to go to the Tiny Lund or not, because last year I really don't appreciate how that thing was ran, and I don't like hugging the tires. I mean, that's the way people race up there, and not dogging the place. I'm just saying that's not for me.
Right.
So we're probably going to go race some US 36, what's left of that, the Missouri Nationals, probably go to I-35, run with USRA guys, because really on that track, it's not any different. They're full-blown USRA. I show up, don't change anything, but, I mean, nothing. Just show up and run with them. We've won features down there every year with them, and low-stress racing down there. There's no points. It's fun to go down there. We might hit some specials. McCool Junction, I think, has got one the night of the Tiny Lund. They got a special there, and I see Crawford County came out with one in October.
Talking about that.
So we're going to hit some specials and do what we can, but we're pretty busy working, so it just kind of have to depend on what's going on there. But
sometimes that takes priority, doesn't it? So,
it does when you get older.
yeah. So, you know, any thoughts of next year? Just come back racing, obviously, hopefully. So,
well, I'd like to see more guys jumping into the stock car class. I really would, either if you're a modified or a B-mod or a hobby stock guy. I mean, don't be afraid to ask questions to any of us. You know, I'm sure I've helped a lot of people. I know Tony's more than willing to help people. He's just, if you got questions, you're a young driver, don't be intimidated. Just come up to us and ask us a question. I mean, we're not going to lead you astray. Because we want competition here. We want cars here. We love this class, you know. We want to keep it going. And I'm not just the only one. There's a lot of us here. It's the same way. But just don't be afraid to ask questions. And not that I know everything, because I don't. I don't even pretend to. So last week we had our own struggles. So.
Oh, yeah, but you know, the experience you have, and I've said that before. I've had younger guys talk to me. I said, and I'll tell them, go talk to most everybody here will help you.
Right.
I mean, that's just like you said. We
Right.
want the cars. You guys want the cars, you know, and it's the funny thing that they say. Some people, I'll help you till you beat me, but you know, that's kind of a funny thing. But that's just a joke, you know. But,
this is the thing that
no,
bugs me is you try to help a guy out that's struggling, and then he starts telling you how he's
Oh,
fast
yeah.
and doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you won't listen to me, I'm
Yeah,
wasting my breath.
right.
I'm done. So
Right.
I mean, I don't have time to,
Yep.
you know, mess around like that. I guess,
Sure.
but
you know,
anyway.
and I can see that you got seat time, but then eventually they will figure out that some things might work for them that didn't work for you, or
Right.
vice versa. And
Right.
you guys know that, so it's
Absolutely.
Like, so.
Yep,
Anyway.
I like to run different tracks. You know, it really helps diversify. I mean, you go to US 36 down there, it's 14-second lap times. I mean, it's quick for a
Ooh,
stock
yeah.
car.
That's-
I mean,
that's
you get your ninja skills pretty quick down there.
That's quick.
Then you come up here, and it makes you a better driver. So the person that, you know, sticks to one track, I strongly encourage you to go to another track to, you know, race more than one night a week. Not telling you to go away
Yep,
from this place.
yep.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying go to another place to experience the different grooves, the different lines, different people, you know. Not only do you know what you're racing, but you don't know the people you're racing with. You can pick up a lot of things if you
Right.
pay attention. You
Talked
know.
to a veteran driver this week, and that's raced 3 different classes, and he said at point, he said, not saying this is a bragging thing, but if you're good at Adams County Speedway, you're going to be good at pretty much any other track you go to.
It's a lot of truth to that. It really is. I mean, it really is, because there's a lot of talent up here. There's a lot of years of experience in every class, and it's something.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's you know, talking about how it's a tougher track to set up, and
Yep.
you know, it's long straightaways, tight corners, and it's but
Yep.
it's been here a long time, and hopefully we can keep her going the same way. We'll see how things go. But yeah,
And
that's what I'm
you know,
talking about, so.
a lot of people are proprietor for smaller tracks. My 2 cents is this place puts on some of the best racing of any track. I don't care what you're watching on Flow or
Right.
IMCA TV. This place puts some of the best racing out there every week.
And I'll say it again, like I told last week, everybody, that's going to be my pet project in the off season, is to try to get the streaming set up here so we can have that on a permanent basis, so
yeah.
pay-per-view type thing. So
Well, I'm glad you say that, because like, I mean, there's a lot of tracks that like these series will go to, and there'll be a hell of a race, but then you go down there on a weekly night when it's not streamed and it's just around the tires.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's more there than what meets the eye. So
And there's other tracks out there that you literally hold it wide open all the way around the track. And like you might lift a quarter throttle to get the car set, and it's like, well, that's not a lot of skill set there. In my mind, you just got to be able to hold it wide open, I guess. So.
Yeah, John Berg mentioned that in the compact. How there's certain tracks that you're just wide open the whole time around there. So
Yeah.
So. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, give you a chance to thank everybody for your great season. I know you got some sponsors, personal, you know, friends, family. So.
Sure. So Shore Motor Company in Clarinda, Josh Wyman, he's been a great help this year to us. New sponsor that stepped on board with us this year. Farm Bureau Financial Services, Jake Gillespie. Can't say enough about Jake. Heck of a guy. If you need some insurance needs, go there. Dairy Construction, our business. OSR, One Source Restoration. And based out of Clarinda, that's where my wife's at right now. She's been in Florida with the hurricanes all this time.
Oh,
so
nice.
this is the first race she'll miss in years. So Victory Powerline Services, Sleeps Tile Yard, Creston Motor Supply, Steve Churchill, DW Race Engines and B&B Chassis with Paul Berger. And my wife, Taylor, she is... She puts up with a lot. I mean, she really does with this racing deal, and she loves every bit of it, and I hate it she can't be here tonight, but she's down taking care of things that need taken care of in Florida, helping them people out with the hurricane stuff.
Yep.
My in-laws, Scott and Chris, my brother Josh, Brody, Micah, and Tyler Gray. Tyler's always over helping in a pinch if we're doing something. Josh Dornbush, he'll step up and he'll help in a pinch. And my mom and dad's been a supporter of me since I started this deal back in 2004. I mean, it's been a long time if you think about it. Where are we at here? And my kids put up with Dad working in the garage quite a bit. And everybody on the scuba crew down there, they're not afraid to jump in, change tires when needed, and help out when we need it. So that's about it for everybody we got.
A couple big thank yous right off the bat. Your mom, she's kind of who we rely on for going back and seeing videos. If people want to do that, she very much so. And you mentioned the scuba. I've already forgot that we should have started off tonight, that this is the Napa tradition.
Yep.
And a huge thank you to Steve Churchill, who helps promote this thing and put this thing on, because he is a huge part of this.
Right.
Should have started the show off without that. I'm glad you just said that, because I kicked myself in the rear for not doing that. But this is the Napa tradition, folks, and Steve Churchill is the big part of the show.
Yep.
So can't say that enough.
Yep. You couldn't ask for a better parts guy out there, and that whole store up there, all of them up there has got top notch up there.
The Napa Jobbers, they all support this same race, but Steve's the one that's pushing it through, and he's got the Napa store in Creston, so we like to support every store we can in our area, so as well hopefully all of our fans do too. So I'll tell you what, Brad, thanks a lot for coming up. Congratulations on another championship. Like I said, I think you're a great ambassador for ACS and big supporter of our facility, and like you said, hopefully we'll just keep building that field back up again.
You bet. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good luck. Thanks.
You betcha. Well, race fans, it's time to wrap her up for the year here. So we're coming to the end of our race show for another year. I want to thank KCSI Radio for just a huge support for us here, putting this on. Melanie, Aaron, Lori back studio most of the time. It's everybody, all the advertising they round up for us. Those sponsors are huge, folks. Make sure you support them. We get to mention those guys a lot, and we get to see us on the YouTube channel as well. That's a neat thing this year, so really appreciate that. Hopefully we'll keep improving everything we do here. We can't thank them enough back at KCSI Radio. This is a unique thing we get to do and have a lot of fun, and hopefully we can keep expanding on podcast type stuff and doing that. And like I said, I want to really try to get the streaming set up next year. But otherwise, guys, I don't know what else you got to say. But
well, Cole's going to let you know how many cars we have.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're still at home or if you're in your car on the way, make sure you get down here, because 117 entries, 24 compacts, 23 hobby stocks, 21 stock cars, 32 B mods, and 17 modifieds. And I tell you what, I'm looking down through the stock car list. I believe this may be his first time ever here.
We still have more rolling in.
And there's another stock car, it looks like, but Caden Carter in the 1X swung on down, and he's going to skip. I'm surprised. That's a driver that I figured would go to Boone, but we're glad to see him down here. And
I know there for a while he was racing Austin Kaplan's car, but it's. And then another driver that everybody knows around this area, he's a multi-time IMCA national champion. He's won the tradition before. Mike Nichols is here. But there is a lot of big names down there in that infield tonight, and it's really good to see. Good to have Carter Vandenberg here as well from Oskaloosa. He's here tonight. I'm trying to see a couple other guys that I can see right off the top of my head here. Ryan Jenkins is here.
Looks like I've got a duty tonight of rounding up transponders and switching them around.
Yeah, it is going to be a fun night of race and race fans. So you don't want to miss it. It's not being streamed. Right. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you come down here. And last thing I want to say before I get off of here is I just want to thank KCSI for letting us do this each and every year, giving us this spot every Saturday night to let us talk about racing, and it's just awesome that the family over there lets us do this, and I hope it's something that's going to continue on for years to come, and I look forward to seeing all of you at the Christmas dinner, and we got to get Cole over there as well, because we got to get some steak over there at Jay Burgers. So.
Anyway, but wherever we have it every year. But thank you much. Thank you to our sponsors. Hope everybody goes out there and supports them just like they support us. So once again, fans, thank you for tuning in all year on the radio and on the YouTube channel. So that's gonna wrap it up for us, guys. But we'll see you next year on Pitside Live and the YouTube channel. So it's time to go racing one last time.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.